Hi, folks. Abram here. Welcome to yet another edition, the 40-something edition of the virtual open mic at the Wild Goose, hosted by your friend of mine, Dave Hampton. And I'm going to sing a couple songs for you, and then I have something a little different to finish up with. But I'm going to start out with Life is Fine by Tom Rush. Oh, no, it doesn't start like that. Tomato hanging there on the vine, moon's hanging up in the sky. My baby loves me, oh life is fine. Hound dog lying here at my feet, little one is sound asleep. My baby loves me, oh life is sweet. We don't care when the sun don't shine. She says that don't matter. She says she'll love me when I'm old, fat and getting fatter. Appreciating how the moon does shine. Sit and listen to some old John Prine. My baby loves me, oh life is fine. Fish are jumping and the beer is cold. Life's young and the bourbon's old. My baby loves me, oh life is gold. We don't care when the cold winds blow. We just snuggle closer. When I say I love you most, she says I love you most. Wind is whistling off in the pines. Church bell says it's 9:30. My baby loves me, oh life is fine. Come on, woman, won't you dance with me? Bring the baby and we'll make three. And if you love me, oh life's a dream. So life is love and love is life. So the world goes round, and I'll be happy just as long as that woman lets me hang around. Tomatoes hanging there on the vine, moon's hanging up in the sky. My baby loves me, oh life is fine. My baby loves me, oh life is fine. That's kind of one of the happiest songs I know. I like to sing it just for that. Just kind of raises your spirits. All right, this one's not quite so happy, but it's a little more serious. It's the Leonard Cohen song called "If It Be Your Will," which I always feel needs a little bit of introduction because it's a song that he wrote about a specific situation. He had some sort of illness or condition that threatened his voice, and he was going in for surgery. Leonard, this was, and it was his plea that that the surgery be successful and that he still be able to sing and use his voice, and yet at the same time he was willing to abide by whatever the fates or the gods or whoever had in store for him. So it's called "If It Be Your Will." That I speak no more, and my voice be still, like it was before. I will speak no more, I shall abide until do something a little different here. I came upon a poem recently that was a favorite of my father's that I hadn't thought of for years and years. And it made me think of some of our local poets. So I want to tell you a little bit about this poem, and then I want to recite it for you. It's a poem called Similar Cases. It was written in 1906 by an early feminist named Charlotte Perkins Gilman. And it's from a collection called Poems of Evolution. And I was thinking of Mike Evans, who used to come and do Robert Service poems and other poems with great animation and skill on Gene's Wednesday night open mics, his once a month open mics. And of course, Tipo, our own kind of local poet laureate who did Leonard Cohen poems and other wonderful poems of his own, as well as other things. And so in a sense, an honor to Mike Evans and Tipo, neither of whom are with us anymore. I'm going to share this poem with you. Again, it's called Similar Cases, and it has a story. There's 3 verses and 3 similar cases. It starts out like this. There was once a little animal, no bigger than a fox, and on 5 toes he scampered over tertiary rocks. They called him Eohippus, and they called him very small. And they thought him of no value when they thought of him at all. For the lumpish old Dinoceras and the Coryphodon so slow were the heavy aristocracy of the days of long ago. Said little Eohippus, I'm going to be a horse, and on my middle fingernails to run my earthly course. I'm going to have a flowing tail. I'm going to have a mane. I'm going to stand 14 hands high on the Psychozoic plane. The Coryphodon was horrified. The Dinoceras was shocked. They chased young Eohippus, but he skipped away and mocked. So they laughed enormous laughter, and they groaned enormous groans, and they bade young Eohippus to go view his father's bones. You always were as small and mean as now we see, and that's conclusive evidence that you're always going to be. What? Be a great, tall, handsome beast with hoofs to gallop on? Why, you'd have to change your nature, said the Loxolophodon. They considered him disposed of and retired with gait serene. This is the way they argued in the early Eocene. There was once an anthropoidal ape, far smarter than the rest, and everything that they could do, he always did the best. So they naturally disliked him, and they gave him shoulders cool, and when they had to mention him, they said he was a fool. Cried this pretentious ape one day, I'm going to be a man. I'm going to stand upright and hunt and fight and conquer all I can. I'm going to cut down forest trees to make my houses higher. I'm going to kill the mastodon. I'm going to make a fire. Loud screamed the anthropoidal apes, with laughter wild and gay. They tried to catch that boastful one, but he always got away. So they yelled at him in chorus, which he minded not one whit, and they pelted him with coconuts, which didn't seem to hit. And then they gave him reasons, which they thought to much avail, to prove how his preposterous attempt was sure to fail. Said the sages, this is wonderful that the apes have sages, said the sages, in the first place, the thing could not be done. And second, if it could be, it would not be any fun. And third, and most conclusive, and admitting no reply, you would have to change your nature. We should like to see you try. They chuckled then triumphantly, these lean and hairy shapes. These things pass for arguments with the anthropoidal apes. There was once a Neolithic man, an enterprising wight. He made his chopping implements unusually bright. Unusually clever he, unusually brave, and he drew delightful mammoths on the borders of his cave. To his Neolithic neighbors who were startled and surprised, he said, my friends, in course of time, we shall be civilized. We're going to live in cities. We're going to fight in wars. We're going to eat 3 times a day without the natural cause. We're going to turn life upside down about a thing called gold. We're going to want the earth and take as much as we can hold. We're going to wear great piles of stuff outside our proper skins. We're going to have diseases and accomplishments and sins. They all rose up in fury against their boastful friend, for prehistoric patience cometh quickly to an end. Said one, this is chimerical, utopian, absurd. Said another, what a stupid life, how dull upon my word. Cried all, before such things can come, you idiotic child, you must alter human nature. And they all sat back and smiled. Thought they, this last, it would be, thought they, an answer to this last, it would be hard to find. It was a clinching argument to the Neolithic mind. The end. Anyway, similar cases, Charlotte Perkins Gilman. So, in the spirit of Tipo and Mike Evans, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope they're still up there somewhere listening, and maybe they're smiling too. Okay, so I had 2 songs, I had 1 rather lengthy poem, and I think that will conclude my contribution for today. So, see you next time.